Welcome to Legal Matters with the Crosby Law Firm. I'm Mike Garrigan, and my guest this evening is attorney Michael Crosby with the Crosby Law Firm. Legal Matters is an informational and news call-in show devoted to legal topics of interest to State Line viewers. We have attorneys standing by right now to take your call live at the number on your screen, 815-397-2006. We'll provide you with free information on your issue, so call now and throughout the next hour. Time now for tonight's opening statement. In our first segment, we are going to be talking about surviving a 21st century bankruptcy. In our second segment, we'll continue our popular You Want to Know question and answer segment devoted to questions phoned, emailed, and tweeted in by you, the viewers. Before we get started tonight, let's take time to remind you of the practice areas that the Crosby Law Firm concentrates in. The Crosby Law Firm has a Center for Divorce and Family Law, an Auto Accident, Injury, and Social Security Disability Department, a Bankruptcy Institute, an Office for DUI, Traffic, and Criminal Defense, an Advanced Care Plan and Probate Center, a Division for Real Estate and Business Matters, and a Department for Immigration and Naturalization Services. So please, feel free to call tonight and discuss any of these practice areas, again, with live attorneys standing by. Now to tonight's main topic, surviving a 21st century bankruptcy. And I know, Michael, you mentioned earlier in the day that the Crosby Law Firm devotes a significant portion of time and practice to bankruptcy work. In fact, you were telling me the numbers were startling. Why don't you give us an approximation since 2011, how many bankruptcies there's been and why so many?
Sure, Mike. This is really a reflection of the recession that hit our country in 2007, 2008. Mostly tied to the real estate bubble in our community alone. Northern Illinois, comprised of about 6 to 8 counties that make up what we call the Western Division of the Northern Federal District. There's been upwards of 16,000 bankruptcies filed since 2011. This year, based on the first 4 or 5 months of the year, our area alone will do in excess of 4,000 bankruptcies. It comprises a significant portion of our practice. We do a lot of bankruptcy work, protecting a lot of individuals who are struggling with debt. I think the primary reason that we've seen this just tsunami of bankruptcies is tied to the real estate bubble, which we're slowly but surely getting a handle on now financially, economically. But if we as a country aren't careful, we're going to have round 2 regarding student loan debt and the tremendous amount of student loan debt that our country has. Congress needs to sort out some methods and some procedures to assist all of us in the handling of that student debt for the whole country.
Right. We don't want to see that. If a client files for bankruptcy protection, how will it affect his or her future credit and job as well? And if clients are so strapped for money that they are thinking about bankruptcy, how on earth can they afford an attorney, which is something that they really need?
Mike, these are the threshold questions that virtually all of our bankruptcy clients have in mind when they first visit with us. I would argue that when it comes to a bankruptcy, if they clean off their debt picture, discharge all of their debt, begin, if you will, a new economic lease on life, they will improve their position financially from a creditworthiness standpoint. If I'm a banker and I'm interested in making a loan to someone and they come to me and visit with me and they have a ton of debt, I'm going to look at that potential credit application with a jaundiced eye. If they come with me and they've discharged all their debt and they're gainfully employed, and I know they can't go bankrupt with a Chapter 7 again for another 8 years, I look at them in a more favorable view. So I think a bankruptcy will help these folks, and generally against the law to try to discriminate against someone who's gone to into a bankruptcy. Regarding the fees, it's always a catch-22. My gosh, I've got this ton of debt. How on earth am I going to pay the lawyer for his fees and the related expenses? Our office provides most of our clients with a payment plan. We also do flat fees for the bankruptcy. So very competitively priced. Our way of going the extra mile for the clients. So I'd urge anyone out there who's suffering from some serious debt issues to give us a call. We provide a free consultation. More than likely, it'll be a flat fee, and if need be, we'll structure some kind of a payment plan to assist them.
Well, I guess it would be a good analogy with the plumber. If your sink isn't working, you don't need a plumber to help you, but it sure would be the best scenario.
No
I think the same thing with a bankruptcy and a lawyer.
Absolutely. We'll get a lot of clients that will say to us, well, do I really need an attorney to help me through this bankruptcy proceeding? In our country, in our society, parties to individual debts can appear in court on their own, but most people wouldn't dream of doing that when it comes to something like a bankruptcy. If a person has a hernia most people are going to attend to a surgeon, to a hospital to take care of their hernia. You have a bankruptcy issue, and I know it may sound self-serving. These folks need to contact an attorney. Our firm does a lot of this work. We'll be happy to help them problem solve.
I think a lot of people have heard of Chapter 7, Chapter 11. How many bankruptcies are there, and what are some of the differences?
Well, for most folks, the most common ones are a Chapter 7, a Chapter 11, a Chapter 12, and a Chapter 13. 11s apply primarily to corporations, 12s apply to farm operations, 7s and 13s, Chapter 7s and Chapter 13s are what most individuals are looking at. A 7 enables someone to completely discharge all of their debt and start over. Chapter 13 is a sort of reorganization where they may be paying back part of their debt over a 3 to 5 year period.
Now, a lot of families get involved in some heavy debt. Can a husband and wife file for bankruptcy together?
Sure. I would say the overwhelming number of clients that come in that are married will do a joint bankruptcy on behalf of both the husband and the wife. There are occasions when a couple will come in and all the debt or most of the debt is associated with just the husband or just the wife. So after an in-depth diagnosis and in-depth analysis, we'll make some judgments as to whether it's most prudent to do a joint bankruptcy or to do a sole bankruptcy on behalf of just one of the spouses.
We have a little bit of time left. What happens when an individual files for Chapter 7 bankruptcy? Take us through the step.
Chapter 7 bankruptcy is going to enable them to discharge all of their debt and get a new economic lease on life, and that really affects a lot of folks. A Chapter 13 bankruptcy, typically we're driven if there's too much equity in their home and they want to keep their home. We'll take a look at a Chapter 13 where they will pay back some of their debt over a 3 to 5 year period typically.
Okay, we are going to take a short break, but our attorneys manning the phones are not taking a break. They are still live answering your phone calls, 815-397-2006. When we come back, it's time for another edition of our popular You Want to Know segment where we answer questions we've received from viewers.
It's a new day in the Rock River Valley. Construction projects are underway. The housing market is recovering, and confidence is returning. As we celebrate this perseverance, the state line is prouder, stronger, and better. And so too are the individuals who have relied upon the leadership of the Crosby Law Firm to protect their rights. In honor of the American spirit, the Crosby Law Firm proudly salutes we the people of the state line community.
Welcome back to Legal Matters. In response to the positive feedback and thousands of telephone calls from you, the viewer, in connection with the Legal Matters show, we are continuing our rapid-fire question and answer segment called You Want to Know. To protect viewer confidentiality, please understand that we are only using first names and we may alter the location of the viewer and the nature of the question somewhat. So here we go. Our first question is from Jessica in Winnebago County. She asks, I'm a grandmother and I love my grandson, but my daughter-in-law was caught cheating on my son. I never really trusted her and now I want a paternity test. What should I do? Should we get that done before or after he files for divorce?
Good question from Jessica on a very emotional issue, very gut-wrenching issue. No need for a paternity test if the baby was born during the marriage. By law, it will be construed as their child, husband and wife. This really gets to the heart, I think, of grandparent rights when it comes to divorce issues. And I would encourage all the grandparents out there who are trying to counsel their children on how to be good moms and dads who are struggling with divorce issues. Grandparents need to make certain that their sons or daughters are receiving good legal representation. The overwhelming number of grandparent rights out of a divorce are derived from the rights secured by the father or the mother. So the paternal grandparents, most of their rights are going to come through their son. The maternal grandparents, most of their rights are going to come through their daughter. So we have lots of grandparents that will come in and visit with us on behalf of their own children, their son or daughter, who are going through the divorce. We take on lots of cases representing the son, the daughter, and on occasion the grandparents. I'd encourage the grandparents out there to give us a call. Be happy to help them out along with their children who are suffering through a very difficult time in their life.
It affects a lot of people for sure.
Grandparent rights, a big issue.
Our next question is from Matt in Rockford. He says, I was recently in an auto accident where the other guy received a ticket and I was rushed to the hospital with a broken leg and a concussion. I have insurance, and so did the other guy. What is this case worth, and what is the procedure for resolving this matter?
Good question from Matt again. I would first suggest that in order to have a quote, good personal injury case, you need to be able to establish that the defendant made a mistake, was negligent, and that defendant's negligence caused serious injury to you. In the case posed by Matt, I think those criteria are met. The other fellow received the ticket, so we can presume that he was liable, that he was negligent. We know that the accident caused serious injury to Matt, broken leg as well as a concussion. Matt's case is going to be worth a significant amount of money. How much money is going to be driven somewhat by his medical bills, the likelihood of a full recovery, or are there going to be permanent injuries? I would say to the viewers out there, our office does a significant amount of auto accident work, personal injury work, and I would suggest that Matt should give us a call. We'll be happy to assist him with the case. Matt, if he has insurance, if the defendant doesn't have significant enough insurance to cover Matt's damages, we may be able to look to Matt's uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. So our plaintiff clients, their own insurance comes into play very often in these kinds of cases. So Matt, please give us a call. We'll be happy to take a look at your case.
And again, 397-2006. Attorneys are standing by live. Next question is from John in Rockford. I was recently charged with DUI and received 2 citations for the same offense. I don't get it. Why did I get 2 DUI tickets for 1 DUI incident?
Very good question. We do a ton of DUI work in our office. Lots of people ask the same question on our DUI defense work. It's really one DUI offense arising out of one incident, but the police department is trained to provide 2 citations. One is a DUI based on the field sobriety, based on the police officer's observation of the defendant in the field. Did he walk a straight line? Did he touch his hand to his nose properly? Gaze nystagmus test, which is looking with a flashlight through the eyes. So one way to prove a DUI is the field sobriety tests. That's one citation. The other way to prove the DUI is through a scientific test, commonly known as a breathalyzer, most particularly given at the station house or the police station. So the 2 citations, one is to say, we think you were drunk based on the breathalyzer at the station house. The other is, we think you were drunk based on the field sobriety test in the field. 1 DUI, 2 different ways to prove it. Don't worry, folks. You don't have 2 DUIs. You've got 1 to worry about, which is enough, by the way.
Exactly.
Yes.
We only have about a minute left. Let's get through this one for sure. It is from Zach in Freeport. My father recently passed away, and my brothers and I are thinking about moving my mother into assisted living. I'm a bit overwhelmed. How should I proceed with both of these matters?
Now, let me first extend my condolences for the passing of your parent and the issues confronting you with your other parent regarding the nursing home. This is a probate case, and it's an estate planning or advanced care planning case. Regarding the parent that passed away, there's a need to file the will at the courthouse. That's different from probate. Zach needs to come in and visit with us. I'll be happy to walk him through the probate process. Regarding the parent moving into assisted living, if that parent still has their faculties, their mental faculties, we need to sit with them to prepare what we call an advanced care plan, a will, a living will, a durable power of attorney, a health care power of attorney, certain documents that will protect the loved one as they begin to enter into the nursing home. Okay, Deanna had a question about immigration. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait till the next episode to answer that one. And if you have a question, though, you can ask right now to an attorney standing by live, 397-2006. Coming up, John Hanson from the American law firm will take a look at some current events and then apply that to possibly you and the law. That's coming up.
At the Crosby Law Firm, solving your legal problems and making your financial life easier is what we're all about. Unlike many law firms, we have options to help you reach your goals. Representing clients in many areas of law, we offer free initial consultations, flat fees instead of hourly rates, so you'll know where you stand. And if you need extra time to pay, we offer payment plans to meet every client's budget. Call the Crosby Law Firm today at 815-397-2006 for your free consultation.